I want you to do something with me right now. Just take both your hands, put them to the back of your neck. Feel something there? Something that wasn't supposed to be there? Are you growing horns? Could it be happening because of mobile phones? Well, that's a study that's actually come out of Australia, that evolution, especially for younger people, evolution is leading to them actually growing horns at the back of their necks. Now, I know, look, I'm laughing, but you shouldn't really be, because it's a study, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about this, because that's the burning question that's come on the show. Is it really true that we're all growing horns because of the fact that when we have a mobile phone in our hand, when we're using our laptops on our desks, we're constantly bending forward, and therefore the bone structure and muscle structure is changing at the back of our necks? Well, that's our burning question. Plus, I've got for you the Motorola One Vision, a very interesting, very good-looking phone from Motorola, which we'll go in depth into. The OnePlus 7. No, not the Pro. This is the one that we believe is the much better phone, and we'll tell you why. And I've got a gaming phone that is absolutely making serious headlines, the Black Shark. Let's get started with growing horns. Let's get started with the show.
Motorola One Vision is here, and at about 20,000 rupees, does it make for a good all-rounder? We'll tell you in our review. OnePlus 7 has finally made its way to the market. It comes with a 48-megapixel camera and the top-of-the-line Snapdragon 855 chipset. But is this the only OnePlus worth looking at, even in front of the 7 Pro? We find out. Xiaomi's Black Shark 2, an out-and-out gaming phone, makes its way to our studio. We test it to the hilt with PUBG and Asphalt 9 and tell you if it's a bang for your buck at around 40,000 rupees. Sanjana turns into Mary Kondo for tech and will show you some simple steps to do away with all the digital clutter in your smartphones.
Let's move on now to the news coming in from the world of mobiles. LG and CoolPad, both companies that haven't taken out a phone for a while, are back in action. Let's take a look at what they launched.
LG is making a comeback in the smartphone segment in India with 3 new phones in an all-new W series: the W10, W30 and the W30 Pro. All 3 phones are in the under 15K segment, and the W30 is priced at 9,999 rupees. It packs in a triple camera setup with various camera modes and a 16-megapixel front camera. There's a small water drop notch on top which can be customized through the settings. It has a large 6.26-inch screen with a HD Plus display and is powered by the MediaTek Helio P22 chipset. The W30 runs on Android 9 Pie out of the box and comes with a large 4000 mAh battery. The W10, which is priced at 8,999 rupees, also packs in a 4000 mAh battery. This phone has a dual camera and comes in a striking tulip purple color as well. LG is not alone in making a comeback. After very long, there is a new phone by CoolPad. This is the CoolPad Cool 3 Plus. The pricing starts at 5,999 rupees, and CoolPad is positioning this as an entry-level phone. There's a single 13-megapixel camera on the back, a Dewdrop HD Plus screen, and it comes with a 3000 mAh battery. The phone will go on sale from 2nd July on Amazon.
Let's move on now to our burning question of the week. Are humans growing horns at the back of their necks? Well, first I'll tell you what the study says. It basically says that because of the amount of weight our head, the human head has, and because of the fact that we are now using devices all the time, all day, especially the youngsters, they're constantly bending forward, especially the neck. It's leading to a completely different transformation that's happening at the back of the neck. The muscles are hardening out there, and the bone is changing its structure, and they're looking like spurs, like horns that are starting to grow out from the back of the neck. That's the study. It comes from Australia. Now, may I go into it a little deeper? Now, I don't know about whether I should be saying yes or no to it. We'll do that right at the end. But first, may I just start off with the fact that this is the kind of terrible reporting that a lot of media houses and a lot of journalists, newspapers and TV channels have started doing. It's called clickbait headlines. If you really read the report properly, it mentions nothing like this. It's basically saying that we are getting into trouble and there is a hardening of the muscle and a little bit of the spur. It doesn't talk about things like we are growing horns and everything else. First and foremost, I'd love to be educated about this. are there any animals at all that actually have horns at the back of their necks? Aren't they supposed to be in the front, right? And the second part of it is, if it is at the back of the neck, this is something that has been happening to humans for a very long time. Books were the first thing that people got really scared about. A lot of people, when books came about, people said everybody's bending forward and reading books and everybody's reading too many books. It happened with periodicals, with magazines, with everything that you can think about. Now, of course, we've moved to mobile phones being the culprit. So first and foremost, clickbait headlines of the worst kind. If it only had said a study says that we're putting too much pressure on our necks, I would have said yes, absolutely, that's exactly what we all are doing. But growing horns at the back of our neck, I mean, how desperate are you to get people to actually read a column, an article, or just listen to some news? So terrible, terrible way of putting it forward. We're not growing any horns at the back of our necks, but it is a great warning for sure. Maybe this is the only part of it that I do like. And the amount of time that we actually do spend with our necks bending forward is becoming absolutely ridiculous. It is leading to a lot of other problems, including neck pain and, the spine actually changing, and a whole lot of that is happening for sure. So I would say, become extremely aware of the amount of time you're spending on your phone. Try and usually do it when you're sitting down, and you can keep it at eye level so you're not bending down. If you have a laptop, put it onto a stand. These are things you can do. The last part is stop spending so much time on your phones. Time now to move on to a phone review. Yes, contradicting myself. But remember, even if you do buy this phone, and I would recommend you do because we found it to be great, then do use it at eye level. It works really well. This is the Motorola One Vision, a fantastic phone from Motorola, a very good looking phone. I'm going to show it to you right now. Motorola's done a great job with this phone. The optics are fantastic, dual camera at the back, 48 megapixel is one of them. Look at the way this phone really looks, absolutely fantastic. Great screen, a punch hole camera in the front. Let's take a look at all the other cool things that Motorola put in a very aggressively priced phone.
This is Vision, and it may well be the Avenger that Motorola currently needs to fight the battle in the under 20K segment. But can Vision win one for Motorola? We say yes, and here is why. Motorola One Vision is the most sought-after phone we have come across in the recent times. It comes with a 21:9 display ratio for a good cinematic experience and offers great low-light photography, which is at par with some of the best premium phones. We will get to the optics in just a bit, but before that, let's take a look at the design and screen of the phone. We have the blue variant for review, which looks good. There is one with brown hues too, which is quite beautiful. Overall, the phone looks refined from the previous Motorola phones. And even though the back is plastic, no one can tell just by looking at it, which is a good thing. The Motorola One Vision is light and comfortable to hold even with its tall design. There is a much needed 3.5mm headphone jack and a fingerprint scanner nicely flushed with Moto's logo on the rear. One of the major highlights of this phone is its Cinema Vision display. The 6.3-inch Full HD Plus comes with 21:9 aspect ratio, giving a whole lot of screen real estate. We liked watching the video content on it in 21:9 as it is easy on the eyes, and let's just say it's also future ready. Of course, not all content will have this ratio, but even then it's a good move. There is a 25 megapixel front camera which causes the punch hole on the front screen. It may or may not disturb you while viewing content. To us, it didn't bother much. The One Vision is part of the Android One program, which means the company promises that you will get 2 major Android updates and security updates for 3 years. It is currently running on Android 9 in its almost purest form. And while there are certain Moto apps and gestures preloaded on the phone, there is less bloatware. The One Vision is powered by Samsung Exynos 9609 with 4GB RAM and 128GB of internal memory. We have been using the Motorola One Vision for a week and we found it reliable. It handled day-to-day tasks with ease and without any issues. Now let's talk about optics. Moto uses quad-pixel technology in both the rear and front cameras. In simple terms, it uses 4 pixels to produce one, using all that data to oversample color and detail to produce a better result at a quarter of the size. It's time to test the rear camera. With a dual lens setup of 48 megapixel plus 5 megapixel, the pictures came out pretty decent in daylight. There are a lot of modes to play with and there is AI support to give the best picture possible in any situation. We tried the night mode and tried to click an object in a pitch dark room, and as you can see, we can see it quite clearly. While the details are not as clear as Huawei's P30 Pro or the Google Pixel 3, it does compete with them in this, and overall the results did impress us. There is OIS as part of the rear camera, which is good, but what is missing is the wide angle capability which we wish this phone had.
We will focus on one big camera thing in this one, and we thought that Night is a big one. So when you combine all of it together, the youth cares a lot for this. So if you see youth have a nightlife, party life, they go out. So that's become pretty critical. So we thought we will build this up completely on this one.
The battery is 3500 mAh with fast charging capability. The phone will last a day if you don't go watching videos all day on its 21:9 screen. Priced at 19,999 rupees, the Motorola One Vision faces tough competition from Samsung M40 and Xiaomi Redmi Note 7 Pro and the Oppo F11 Pro. The Cell Guru verdict. Motorola has got a really good phone at hand with the One Vision, and we personally found it to be strong and dependable. If Moto keeps making phones like these, they have the potential to be the consumer's new favorite.
Moving on to the OnePlus 7, and this is not the Pro version like I said right in the beginning, but this is the phone according to me. If you are a OnePlus fan, if you are looking at buying a phone at this price point, then OnePlus has done a great job with this phone, because this is the phone to buy. They've been aggressive with the price. I think the OnePlus 7 Pro completely and totally got priced wrong, and the competition caught up with it so quickly and was able to outsmart that phone both on price, on features and everything else. But this is a great looking phone at a very, very good price, and we believe this is the better phone to buy. So if you're thinking OnePlus, if you're thinking of a phone around 32,000 rupees, this could be a great option. Take a look.
The OnePlus 7 follows in on the top of the line OnePlus 7 Pro's footsteps. But with a massive price gap between the two, is the OnePlus 7 the only one we should be looking at? Let's dive into the review to find out. The OnePlus 7 looks very similar to its predecessor, the OnePlus 6T. The chassis seems to be the same and the phone feels pretty good when held. It is a little slippery though, but it does have the Corning Gorilla Glass protection. We didn't really like the way the rear cameras protrude though. It might make the cameras prone to scratches. Well, we got the red variant for review, which looks pretty striking. The OnePlus 7 starts at 32,999 rupees. We got the 8GB RAM one, which is priced at 37,999 rupees. The phone comes with a water drop notch on top, unlike the Pro variant, which comes with a pop-up camera and a full screen display. But while the design is similar to that of the OnePlus 6T, what else has been amped up here? The new OnePlus 7 boasts of the mighty Snapdragon 855 chipset. We used the phone and it was really very fast. Multitasking is a breeze and gaming on the phone was smooth as well. But what also adds to the smooth experience here is the OS that the phone comes with. The OnePlus 7 runs on the newly optimized Oxygen OS 9.5. It is comfortable to use and is fast. It runs on the top of Android 9 Pie, of course. The display on this phone is nothing much to write home about, especially when compared to the Pro that goes full screen. This one packs in a 6.4-inch AMOLED display with a full HD+ resolution. The refresh rate is a conventional 60 Hz. To unlock the phone, OnePlus has gone with an in-display fingerprint scanner. It is pretty fast and opened the phone in less than a second when we tried it. There's also face unlock on board. On the optics front, the OnePlus 7 goes with the popular 48-megapixel Sony IMX586 sensor, which is the primary unit. This is coupled with the 5-megapixel depth sensor. The shots were very good in daylight. It has optical image stabilization, which will make sure you don't get blurry images. We particularly like the portrait mode, which gave good edge detection. Low light shots also gave good results. There's no delicate pop-up camera on this phone. There's a 16-megapixel front camera which took some sharp selfies, even in low light. Here are some of the images we clicked with the OnePlus 7. The OnePlus 7 does miss out on a few things, the most important of which is a headphone jack. There's also no wireless charging on this phone. But the OnePlus 7 does well on the battery front. It actually has the same 3700 mAh battery as a OnePlus 6T, but because of the Snapdragon 855, the efficiency on this phone is improved and it will last you more than a full day of heavy use. OnePlus has dropped the Dash Charge branding, but there is still a 20 watts fast charger that can juice up the phone very fast. The Cell Guru verdict. With the OnePlus 7, OnePlus has got a lot of things right. It might be a little away from being termed a true flagship killer, but at almost 33,000 rupees, it offers an excellent performance and leaves no room for complaints. But if you have the OnePlus 6 or the 6T, then it may not be worth the upgrade. But if you are debating between the OnePlus 7 and the Pro variant, then at almost 16,000 rupees cheaper, this one is the clear choice.
So should we go black or should we go red? Well, the next one is that we're going black. This is called the Black Shark 2. The Black Shark 1 never came to India, and even though the company isn't talking about it, nowhere does it say on the phone or also on the box. but this is a Xiaomi phone. So it's a 40,000 rupee gaming phone, very high performance. A lot of people had thought that this would be around 25,000 rupees, but it's come out quite expensive. So this is a Xiaomi phone. It's an all-out high performance gaming phone. It's called the Black Shark 2. And do remember why I said black or red, because next week we'll have this. This is called the Red Magic, the Nubia 3. The Red Magic. This is also a high performance gaming phone. We'll review this and we'll also do a shootout between the two. Right now it's time for the Black Shark 2.
An out-and-out gaming phone is in our studios, and so we have our gaming thumbs all set for this review. Meet Xiaomi's Black Shark 2 that promises to be just this. Starting at 39,999 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, does it live up to its gaming prowess while keeping a cool head? And other than the gaming part, does it make for a good phone overall? Let's put it to test and find out. Even if you didn't know this was a gaming phone, simply by looking at it you can tell. It's got a robust gamer look and it's pretty thick and heavy. The back of the phone has swanky LED strips that light up, as does the S at the back when the phone is charging or when a notification comes. There are stereo speakers in front, and the Black Shark 2 does away with a notch of any kind. The screen is adequately large at 6.39 inches. The resolution is Full HD and it is an AMOLED display. We downloaded Jetpack, No Limits and the more heavy-duty Asphalt 9 and PUBG. The resolution was only okay, with some viewing angles missing the mark, especially under direct sunlight. But really testing these games out on the phone was a breeze. This is not a dainty phone that will slip from your hands. It feels good to hold in game, and the phone didn't heat up too much even when we gamed on it for 4 hours straight. This could be because of the Liquid Cool 3.0 technology that they have used. The phone largely runs on a stock Android interface and has a dedicated Shark space to manage all games and all gaming notifications. The Snapdragon 855 processor handles all graphics tasks very well, and it's a very fast phone. But not everything is rosy with the Black Shark 2. This shark can't really swim and is only splash proof. There's no headphone jack, which we feel is a big miss on a gaming phone, and there's no expansion of storage on this phone either. Some of the more new things that the Black Shark 2 does include though is an in-display fingerprint scanner which works smoothly. The phone houses a 4000 mAh battery which lasted us 1 day of heavy gaming and use. On the optics front, there's a dual camera at the back with a 48 megapixel main lens and a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. We took some good shots in the normal mode and the pro mode. Low light shots were unimpressive and grainy. The front camera has a 20 megapixel shooter which took some nice natural looking selfies outside. All in all, the Black Shark 2 looks and feels like a hardcore gamer's delight. It even performs like one. But it does have some significant omissions like the lack of a headphone jack and the resolution not being too sharp. At almost 40,000 rupees, it is a bit steep, and with many new pure gaming phones in the market, we will just have to see how this one stacks up.
Let's take a quick break right now. On the show, I've got a lot of stuff to show you. Don't go anywhere. So you've heard the name Marie Kondo, right? I mean, you've read the books, you've seen the Netflix series, and some of you have actually had her come into your house also. Now, she's ruthless. She'll come in and she tells you only one thing and one thing only. Don't restore or reorganize. Throw out the clutter in your life. And that is how ruthless she is. And somebody who's trying to do a Marie Kondo on us for our digital life is Sanjana. She says almost the same thing. Let's take a look.
Well, it's time to put on my tidying gloves and show you how we're going to tidy up some tech today. Well, if you have gone the Marie Kondo way with other things in your house like clothes and everything else, it's why not do it to your phone. So I'm going to show you how to declutter your phone today. And of course, I'm not just talking about cleaning the phone from outside, but actually what's on the inside. What we're going to start with is something very simple, actually how to organize your apps and get rid of apps that you don't use at all. And I'm going to do this with you guys, so let's get started. Phones can get cluttered and messy with apps and even notifications. Gosh, just my notifications make me feel uneasy. It also might be hard sometimes to find the right app at the right time. Well, my first tip is to get rid of anything that doesn't spark joy. And so that goes for apps as well. If you are not using it, you do not need it. Browse through all your apps and see which ones are taking up the most storage, and you can do it that way, or simply review apps you don't really use and just press delete. This goes for Android or iPhones. And in terms of organization, the apps used most frequently should be on the main screen of your phone. I have kept my most used apps right here: Mail, Messages and WhatsApp. push the rest to the next few pages. You can color sort apps since our mind goes to the color of the app we have to open, or you can categorize them into their utility. Like these food apps all belong together. Or these multiple photo editing apps can be grouped into one. Having less visual clutter on your smartphone is a subtle but effective way of reducing visual overload. And if you're a bit strapped with phone storage and you don't really want to delete an app as such, iPhones give you the option to offload them. This deletes the app but not all of the data, and you can easily install the app again. Android phones gives you the option to clear out cache. Tap clear storage and clear cache for any apps that are using a lot of space. See, now that wasn't too hard, was it? Now, some social media apps have been linked to inciting anxiety in a few people. And come on, who likes it when you're at a dinner table and everyone around you is texting? So let's take stock of that situation and set screen time. Well, it's very simple. You can do it through your phone settings as well, but also through individual social media app settings. How? Well, I'll just show you. If social media notifications and everything about it seem just too much to handle, simply switch on screen time. This can be done on Android phones that have Android 9 running on them with digital well-being, and through Apple's screen time. Set screen time for social media apps. This locks the app once you reach the limit, thus limiting your use. Yes, if it's important, you can log back in for 15 minutes as well. But not just through the settings of your phone, some social media apps now have this in their own settings as well. Now, one place I guarantee on your phone is a complete mess and doesn't spark as much joy probably is your camera roll. But it's very simple actually to declutter your camera roll. Now, don't worry, I'm not going to recommend a third-party app because that would defeat the purpose that I started off with, which was to declutter your phone itself. But I'm going to do it the very basic way, and my phone really needs some decluttering. So let's do it together. Selfies, screenshots, and some unnecessary pictures. We are all guilty of hoarding up on images, making our camera roll the most cluttered place on our phones. Well, it's time to press delete and take stock of our images. Backup images to the cloud or your computer, or simply get to organizing them. Your phone is pretty smart. Make use of the AI that's there in most of our smartphones, which can categorize images into place, people, and things. Make albums for different events and delete irrelevant images on a regular basis. On iPhones, you can even categorize images according to the person as the AI recognizes faces. All my dog's pictures, for example, are in one place, making it easier for me to find one when I need it. But not just images, I would also suggest you do this to your contacts as well. Eliminate anyone you don't remember and any other contacts you don't need. Be sure to merge contacts when you have a person's information more than once. Take up one alphabet a day to make this process less daunting. And my final tip, streamline your to-do list. Make sure you're not repeating reminders in your notes, calendar, and reminders app. Use one app and stick to it. And now you're all set. Well, you can do this even for your tablet or your computer. And my Mary Kondo-esque tip here would be that you keep your home screen real clutter-free. How do you do that? I would say minimize your notifications, keep the ones that you really need, and switch off the ones that you don't need from the settings of your phone. And remember, the idea behind tech is to make you smarter, so don't let it weigh you down.
Well, that then is the show for this week, but I've got some fantastic news for you. We've got one of the most interesting phones that have come around to us in a very, very long time. We teased it with an interview a short while back. It's about to get released, but it's with us already, the Vivo Z1 Pro. Amazing phone. Watch out for the review, and like I've already told you, the Red Magic from Nubia will also be reviewed next week. See you then.